Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades, and welcome back. And what are we getting back into? We are getting into Love is Blind Habibi. We are now on episode 4 and it is called Catching Up with Cupid. So we know where we left off from episode 3. It was when Hajar and Simo got into their difficulties about what Simo believed Hajar had done wrong. Anyway, before we get into this video, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so you know I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share, and do all the good things that you do, because as you all know, I am on the road to 1K. I am thanking all of you that are rocking with me thus far. So we left off with Hajar and Simo. So Hajar is basically in the room with Simo, calling herself a fool because she says she basically made a bad joke. And now I understand that the cake was definitely a euphemism for something else, basically. And Hajar was joking that, you know what, maybe she'd get the last chance to have a piece of cake or something like that. It was a joke, and Simo completely took it the other way, as you would. So I just think at this point, Simo is milking this shit for what it's worth. He wants to see how far Hajar will go to kowtow to him, basically. So Hajar basically says, right, can we just stop it here? I've apologized. It was a bad joke. So Simo is now saying, oh, so you're turning it on me. And I'm like, Hajar, why are you still sitting there entertaining this man? Like, seriously? He ain't the catch he thinks he is. His attitude makes him ugly, and Hajar still wants to date him. Hajar actually still wants to marry this dude. I was like, come on, my girl, come on, fix up. I mean, you don't need a man that bad. Like, seriously, you don't need a man that bad to skip over the bullshit that they're giving you right now and the attitude that's coming out of it. Do you know what I mean? So Simo says that he likes Hajar and wants to be with her. So she turns around and says, well, do you forgive me? I'm honestly thinking, like, for what? What are you asking forgiveness for? Like, seriously, that the man couldn't take a joke? That the man really well and truly couldn't take a joke and took it this far just to see how far Hajar would be willing to literally beg for him, basically, because that's what Simo was doing. So Simo says, if I didn't forgive you, I would not be here. Hajar calls out that basically Simo is still tense, and he goes, no, I'm not really. And I'm like, yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. If a stick slipped up that man's butt, it would break. That's how tense that man was. Let's just put it that way. Hajar needed to have cut her losses at that point, because you know what? Simo isn't the one. He really isn't the one. But hey ho, what can Hajar do now? Because the person that she did kind of fancy, Shafiq, was already gone to Dunya, basically. So Simo basically says well done to her and akins Hajar to like a child, but then goes on to say what women want from men is safety, security, because they need to be the head of the family. Hajar at this point is looking around the room, and you can kind of tell that she isn't very comfortable with this chat, because she's kind of thinking, what in the hell am I listening to right now in this day and age? So Simo is talking to her, and I'm just like, this would be a big red warning blaring in your face. I mean, if this did not, the way he carried on with her over the last episode and this episode didn't slap some vision into her mind, I swear down, there's nothing more that you can do for Hajar at the end of the day, because Simo is not the man for her. He is not a safe space for Hajar at all, but she can't see that, because I think all she wanted was to get out of there and become an engaged woman. That's all she was looking for. So in actuality, for Hajar, any man would do, even though she's ignoring those signs of this man. So Hajar wants to move on. And I was like, well, you've opened yourself up to this man. So, you know, you can try be jokey, flirty with this man, but it ain't going to work. Simo is not righted. He really isn't. This man gets up to the wall after all the shit that he's just done to this woman and asks Hajar to give him a hug at the wall. Hajar literally sits her ass on that sofa and is basically pretending that she's got up. he literally starts demanding for her to get up. And the fool that Simo is, he goes and hugs and kisses the fucking wall. Hajar's sitting on the chair the whole damn time. At this point, I was kind of thinking, I hope she has second thoughts on this man for real. But Hajar did just play Simo fully. I was random applauding. I gave her a clap at that, because my God, that man is full on hard work. So I was like, okay, she showed that maybe, just maybe, she don't want this man. Just maybe she's gonna pick her self-worth, because Simo is so far gone in his head that he says he wants Hajar, but knows deep inside that she's a baby. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, seriously, what the fuck is that? Can someone call Simo? Yeah, because that man is toxic as hell. He is toxic as hell. His view on women is gross. And thank God that Yasmin had a lucky escape from that bullshit, I'm telling ya. So Hajar feels like their relationship is still facing some challenges. Proposal or no proposal, she says that she doesn't know. And I thought, my God, my gal, this is not a maybe kind of situation. This man is for no one at all. The red sirens are shining in Hajar's face, and she's still unsure about this man. She still wants to go there with this man. I think at this point, there's no helping Hajar at all. So Nour and Mido meet. Mido is scared that he'll be too sure. Nour is very much into herself, because we know she's a model, she's pretty. There were some instances where I was thinking, oh yeah, I'm getting to like Nour. But now, as time has gone on, I can see the arrogance just coming out, oozing out of this woman. She literally turns out round before she goes to meet Mido and basically says, no, she's any man's type. Basically, that's what she said about herself. I know I'm any man's type. No man could look at me and not want me. That's why you ain't married, love. That's essentially why you ain't married, eh? Because, you know, as you said, no man could look at you and not want you, but men have been looking at you and not wanting you because nobody's put a ring on your damn finger. So you could tell when them doors went back, Nour did not like Mido at all. Like, you could tell completely. Her facial expressions were on point. It was like when them doors opened, she looked like she smelled something bad. Oh my God, that man didn't just about came to Nour's shoulder. Like, really just about came to her shoulder. He was short. I was like, God. He was proper short. Mido couldn't stop telling Nour how pretty she was, and she absolutely loved that because she was soaking it all in. Mido, I believe, doesn't know that Nour knows and is very much aware of how beautiful she is and isn't afraid to say it and show it, basically. Nour didn't say one nice thing about Mido at that point. And I just believe that this woman can't get over how short he is. Even though she hasn't said it to Mido, she knows Mido is definitely not her type at all. So yeah, Nour ain't fooling no one when she turned around to Mido and said that he looks handsome. Like, Mido did look handsome to be fair, but when Nour said it, you could see that it didn't ring true. So Hajar and Nour, as I said, must have went to the same acting school for real to try and make people believe what it is that they're saying. You know, their lips are moving, but what's coming out is pure and utter lies. So basically, Nour decides to say yes to his full proposal. And Mido cat whistles as Nour walks away. I was like, Jesus, Tarambi, this is not going to work out well for these people in the slightest. Let me put it that way. So we have Simo going to ask Hajar to marry him. All I kept on thinking is, Hajar, you need to say no to this man. He will not make you happy. And I was saying that from now. So Hajar does have some doubts about Simo, but I don't think she's going to let that stop her in the slightest. So Hajar began to stutter up in that room when she was trying to speak to Simo in order to get her words out. So Simo talks about how they have things in common. Let's just say this, Simo is the most unromantic soul when he's talking about the attributes of Hajar and what they have in common and yada yada yada. So they're both Moroccan. Hajar was crying, like proper crying, those tears as Simo is talking. And I'm like, Hajar was proper taken by what he said. So he says to Hajar, will you be mine? And she says, yes. I think Hajar will regret that decision for real. Like, seriously will regret that decision. So Hajar wanted Simo on one knee because he did that while he was standing up. And that says a lot about this man. That says a lot about him. So he decides to acquiesce to her request and repeats it on one knee. And she says yes. Simo really likes to give instructions. He somehow feels powerful love and chemistry with Hajar, but I think he's full of shit too, to be honest with you. So we get to the next day. So Simo and Hajar meet. Simo basically modelled his whole how he would be, his persona, this, that and the other, within the pods on his grandfather, who is married to his grandmother, who in their day and age did not see each other first at all before the wedding. So I'm like, okay, so the way how Simo is, he got that toxic nature from somewhere then. I don't want to speak ill of his like family or anything like that, but given what he just said, that's where he got his toxic nature from. Stands to reason. So yeah, Simo is so arrogant when he walks out, like absolutely arrogant when them doors go back. Hajar likes him straight away. I just hope she knows what she's doing with this man. So each of them didn't believe that they would end up with a Moroccan, but they did. So they believe that it's fated for a downfall. That's all I'm gonna say. Fated for a downfall. So this is it in essence for Hajar. So she said she's mind-blowing and Simo is arrogant. So she believes that they will make a power couple. I'm telling you, those words will come home to roost, mark my words. Simo is not only arrogant, but he's toxic too. Let's just put it this way. Hajar is just full-on mean girl, arrogant. That's what Hajar is. Someone broke that girl in a past life and she's come back as this entity because Hajar is a proper mean girl. So I don't think they will make a great power couple unless Hajar follows Simo's lead and maintains her rude ways with others, as she's already showing. I just hope, like, you know, she doesn't get hurt in the process because I don't trust Simo at all. So that is the first phase completed. So out of that first phase, we have Amar and Karma, Mohammed and Safa, Shafiq and Dunya, Mido and Nour, Simo and Hajar, Hatab and Asma. Those are the couples. And out of all of them, yeah, I just hope that Shafiq and Dunya and probably Mohammed and Safa make it, and the rest I don't see it happening at all. There's just no substance to them. So as the episode goes on, you see that Hatab and Asma don't make it to the next phase because Asma after meeting Hatab felt so unsure. I thought, I told you this girl will be full on superficial by the time she meets this man, because all she had in mind when them doors went back was someone that she would normally go for, which is an athletic type of person, and that was not Hatab at the end of the day. So basically they said the couple have chosen to take it slow and we'll see what happens from here on out. So it's basically vacation time. It's where they will come together and get to know each other a little better. But within this one, they do have separate rooms. So their dates are arranged. So the women and the men will go and meet each other during the daytime for the dates, and that's it. And then they'll have their own separate rooms in which they're staying in. They do not stay together at all. So Amar and Karma wish to see each other as soon as possible. And basically it'll be a good thing to see how these people react outside of the pods, because now they can't hide. Everything will be on fully display. So getting ready to meet their partners, and we'll see how that turns out for some. So we see Safa and Mohammed meet first, And I am excited for this couple when they do meet up. Everything is still the same with them. Like, they were really connected, continue to be connected with each other, and it's like they haven't really spent any time apart. It's not changed anything for them that they did have that time apart. So Mohammed says that Safa looks like Ava Mendes, and I was like, to be fair, I don't see Safa is a beauty all on her own, to be honest with you. So Safa is shy, and Mohammed makes up for it in his chatter to her, because this man can talk. Like, this man can talk. But my thing is, you can talk, my friend, but can you back it up with action at the end of the day? That's what she's going to need from a husband, because talk is cheap, and we've seen that in these shows. I mean, all you have to do is look at Love is Blind season 7, the USA one at the moment. That one, whew, it's an absolute train wreck. Let's just put it that way. So Mohammed basically said that he was worried about Safa flying, but he knew that she had to do that in terms of work, and especially how much travel she has to do, because they had that discussion in the pods. He didn't have an issue with it then when they were discussing it in the pods, it would appear. But she says that she would normally fly out on a Sunday, she would come back on Thursday or Wednesdays, and she would have to do that pattern for 3 years, basically. So Mohammed is there basically saying, oh, you can't do this to me after I saw your face. But it cannot change for her right now. This is the pattern. This is what she spoke to him about in the pods, and he seemed to accept that this is her schedule of work. This is what she has to do. Mohammed does ask the right questions of her about her travel and being home, but again, accepted her jobs in the pods. But the reality of it is now hitting him squarely in the face. He said he won't interfere with her work, but in essence, he is, by seeking to see if things could change in the shorter term, rather than having to do this within for the whole 3 years. But at the end of the day, what she's saying, yes, you can do this for the whole 3 years, but it might change after that. But the only way that she'll stick probably more to one place than the other is if she works for a different type of company. But she's already told Mohammed that she absolutely loves her job. She loves what she does at the end of the day. So there is things left for him and Safa to think and talk about. So my thing is yes, it won't be great that he won't be able to see her face all the time in terms of her work pattern. But he knows, as I said, the time limit is for 3 years. So it's the burden of who can cope with that should be placed on Mohammed at the end of the day, because he knew Safa's work schedule going in. And so I don't see why he's starting now to put that pressure on her to see if she's able to change or to make a compromise in regards to that. At the end of the day, he wants to be with her, he wants to marry her, make her a part of his life. He's got to accept this little bit for 3 whole years, and maybe it would be that you put off having kids for those 3 years because of the job that she's doing. You never know, but those talks they will have to have. So basically the conversation did continue, and Safa did not like it when Mohammed said, I want you to be happy with me or with someone else. And she questions, well, why would you say that? Are you getting cold feet? And I'm like, my thing is, in one breath, Mohammed is saying to Safa that, you know what, I want to be with you, I don't want to be apart from you, yada, yada, yada. And then in the next, he's saying, I want you to be happy with someone else. That doesn't make sense. So Mohammed is not filling his prospective bride with confidence at this moment in time. They did work it out. In that conversation, they did work it out. And Mohammed says that long distance won't be easy, but they'll try to figure it out. Let's hope that happens. So we meet Karma and Amar again. So Amar was late for his freaking date. I mean, first date out of the pods to meet your potential wife, and you're late for it, right? No apologies, really. No apologies. I will be honest right now. Amar actually wasn't being an arse. And Karma and Amar actually do kind of fit at first. I would say at first. So then Karma has to say, at first I was chatting with many guys and it was fun. And I thought, oh shit, Karma, why did you say that? Because you know how this man feels about you talking about potential guys you were chatting with up in them pods. Man already done told you this and showed you how he is regarding that. So here comes the Amar that we knew from the pods. Although he be smiling and Karma be giggling, the man was riled at hearing that. He said, I will take you back to the pods, I swear. So I'm like, is that the equivalent of telling a woman she's for the streets? I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. So when he's saying, I'll take you back to the pods, is that him saying, I'll take you back and leave you there and walk off by myself, basically. So I'll leave you to the people then. That's exactly what he's saying, isn't it? Because that's how it's coming off to me. So he tells Karma she needs to change her character and she cannot be like this with everyone. So basically he's trying to say that she can't be this outgoing type of person, laughy, jovial with any other person but him. That's what he's saying. So Karma does laugh because she believes that he's joking, but he was being serious, and he even turned to her and said, I'm being serious. Basically he's saying a woman should not flirt with anyone else but her man. I can see where Amar is coming from that in regards to that, but he also has to accept that Karma is not stupid, and there will be times that she will try to be jokey and jovial with other people, but then also be jokey and jovial with her husband, and he needs to understand where her jokes end and her where her jokes end and her seriousness starts. He needs to understand that you're not talking to some inept woman at the end of the day. And I think Amar just wants to stifle that fun loving side of her. That's the impression that I'm getting, because as soon as he said that, she just stopped laughing altogether and then just looked down at her drink. And I was like, that's a damn shame. Do you know what I mean? Because they started off really, really well. So then we get to Mido and Nour's date. All I can say is that conversation was something else. It really was. Nour is so vain. No word of a lie. That woman is so fucking vain. She says her hair is so long and it just makes her hot. So she basically says she never styles her hair herself. She has somebody else do it for her. So Nour said if her looks were not Mido's type, would he change the way that he was? And Mido said no at the end of the day. So Nour does not give any type of eye contact, and Mido kind of called this out. And she said at first, if she's shy and nervous, she won't necessarily give eye contact. I don't believe that at all. I really don't, because when she's been talking to like the girls in the pods, and when you see later on when she's talking to other people as she gets to meet them, when all the couples do get to meet up, she's giving some of them bare on eye contact, like Shafiq and somebody else. She's giving them eye contact. So how can she can't give that eye contact to Mido? She's playing some type of game. She doesn't like this man. She really doesn't. I just think at this point Nour just wishes to have some type of airtime basically and get her face out there. I don't know how seriously she's taking this, to be fair, but we will see. So just after that, Mido gets negative vibes from Nour, and I mean you could tell that from when she first met Mido, that there was negativity coming from her because she doesn't like him. So he said, when someone is excited to see you, you would know this straight away. He says he doesn't feel that from Nour. He doesn't feel she's strong for him, basically. So we asked her, why are you hiding? Nour literally acted shocked. That girl nearly fell out of her seat when Mido said that to her. And basically she just says that I'm feeling shy and tense, but she still won't give him no eye contact. She's trying to say to him that from when they chatted in the pods to when they met to now, nothing's changed. But it has. It's completely changed. The whole demeanour, behaviour towards him has changed. Mido called her out, basically, and he says, well, you're not good at showing your emotions properly. I was like, at last, Mido sees the light in Nour that she doesn't want him. She doesn't want him. She didn't want it in. She didn't want Mido in the pods. He was her second chance. She wanted Shafiq. Shafiq was her first chance, but she had no choice but to accept Mido, because Shafiq had made his choice known through a wall to Dunya for all to hear, basically. So she had no choice. She couldn't have him. So then we have Shafiq and Dunya meet, and Dunya is covered in some big green smock dress. I don't know if she has something on underneath, but you know, she's dressing modestly at this moment in time. They are so happy to see each other. This was a good meet up with these two. They are so happy to see each other. They talk about their connection in the pod. So Dunya has basically never had a boyfriend before, and I was like, oh, so this makes the prize even sweeter for Shafiq, because it doesn't matter what culture you are from, a man is going to love that the girl that they're interested in, the girl that they're with, has never been with them. I never been with a man before, and B, never had a boyfriend before. So although Dunya tries to talk to Shafiq about women like who have had boyfriends and being experienced, maybe he would have been better suited for somebody like that because she's not in that way. He says, I don't want a girl who's emotionally already done with trust issues, because he said he had that before, and all that had occurred is they took those issues that they had with the other person and then put them onto him, and he couldn't do right for doing wrong, basically. So Shafiq basically turned around and said, I would say this is where Shafiq kind of showed his true colours, and Dunya didn't really know where to put herself, because he made her a little bit uncomfortable by saying it. He said that he's a jealous person, and I was just like, that is not a flex at all. And I thought, right, so here comes the red flag that Shafiq does have. So he tells Dunya, if you are talking to other guys and I see you laughing, you are going to see from my eyes straight away. Stop it now. I was like, who the fuck are you again? I was like, who are you again, my friend? Who are you to tell this woman that she can have a laugh and a joke? It doesn't mean that she's flirting. It doesn't mean that she's being serious with the person that she's talking to. She's just having a fucking good time at the end of the day. Doesn't mean she wants to run off into the sunset with the man that she's talking to, because Dunya isn't like that at all. Her lot at the moment is with Shafiq, and that's what she's saying. I thought, yeah, that would be too much for me. That would be too much for me, because in the behaviour that he's showing, A, he wants to control her. B, he wants to control how she speaks to other people and her movements with other people. And C, he's saying he don't trust Dunya at all. Because at the end of the day, if he trusted her, he wouldn't mind her talking to other people. Yes, she's not going to get flirty with them, but if they say a joke and she laughs, he can't get jealous over that at the end of the day. It's not like she's opening herself up for them to come for her in any way, shape or form. So he needs to trust this woman at the end of the day. So he says he will be watching her all the time. To me, that's just like stalkerish shit. It really is. It screams stalker. So what scared Dunya after that conversation was the jealousy part in their conversation. And I thought it should, my love, because that's not normal behaviour at all. That comes off controlling. It comes out like Amma, and it comes out of Shafiq, that they are so insecure fully in themselves, they're going to place their shit onto the women that they're with. They literally want the power to control. Don't like it. I don't. We'll see what happens with them from here on out. So Hajar and Simo have their date, and this is what I've dubbed them, the arrogances. That's what I said. The arrogances are here in full effect, yeah. So Simo calls Hajar a troublemaker, and I'm like, she is. See, she completely is. So Simo basically says that he wants to stay in Morocco and Hajar wants to stay in Dubai. So they have the first argument. I was like, mate, for Hajar, if she marries this man, if she marries Simo, she will be waving goodbye to Dubai in the rearview mirror, because that man is not going to stand for his wife having something that he don't want her to have, basically. So he's already said that he will be staying in Morocco because that's where his family is, that's where his work is, that's where his businesses are. He has nothing in Dubai to stay for. So ergo, Hajar, you'll be moving your ass to Morocco. Let's just put it that way if you married this man. So Hajar is basically saying her life is in Dubai and Morocco is just family. So basically, she is scared that she will lose her freedom. Simo did not like this at all. He said to be with family is her freedom. She basically said to Simo, do not give me the perfect reply. And I thought, here we go again with these two. It's like the battles of the wills, and I'm wondering who will win out. So Hajar and Simo are definitely not on the same page. So Hajar said she felt cold because of Simo's answers, because she was shivering. So Simo gets up and says, oh, well, you're cold. Here, you can have my jacket. And he was taking off his jacket like the gentleman. Like, I'm not going to say like the gentleman he is, because he ain't, but, you know, like a gentleman. And that's what Hajar says. She felt cold because of Simo's answers. Because Hajar, much like Simo, is used to getting her own way, but she has met her matching Simo, and Simo has met his matching Hajar at the end of the day. So Hajar basically just shows who she actually is. Now she's out of them pods and she's not being this meek and mild play or persistent to Simo. She is on some next level type of demon time on this day. I'm telling ya, I don't know what crawled up her butt. I kind of like the fact that she's putting Simo in the hot seat and showing him she's not the actual pushover that he believed her to be in the pods at the end of the day. So she was basically saying to Simo, okay, so what's your passion? He doesn't know what his passion is in life. Hajar said, well, your passion is me. And Simo said, maybe. Hajar went, I did not like this at all. She called Simo arrogant, and I said, well, you both are, to be fair. So real recognizes real at the end of the day. Let's just call a book a book. So the waitress brings over the food, and I think she brings something over and it's a little bit late. So Hajar rudely tells her it's okay, she's almost done. But she was rude. Hajar was rude and disgusting when she said it. So Simo basically called Hajar out for her behaviour. And Hajar didn't give a shit. Like, she really didn't give a shit. As much as I gave her props for calling out Simo, she's acting like an entitled little brat right now. And it's off-putting. So he tells her, you shouldn't have spoken to that young woman like that in my presence. So Hajar says, so. And he says, I will leave the restaurant. So he kind of gets up looking like he's going to leave, and Hajar turns around to him and she believes that Simo should be sticking by her side no matter what the frick she does. And Simo said no. It says because the young waitress was late, so Hajar scolded her. So Simo told her, if you have nothing nice to say, you hurt people's feelings. And he stood up and said, I don't like this. This is bad. It looked like he was getting up to leave, and I was just about to applaud him for that. Because Hajar's behaviour did stink. It stank to high heavens, basically. But yeah, nah. All they ended up doing was they both went up and they both left together. Yeah. So in her VC, Hajar turns around and says she believes her character will be challenging for Simo. And she believes that Simo's character will be challenging for her. So she thinks they'll either drive each other mad or fall madly in love. I couldn't live with either of them. They will drive each other mad. They will not be madly in love. Let's just put it that way. Something will break between them two. So we get to the next day, and you see Nour and Mido have a chat. And Mido basically says to Nour that, you know what, you do care a lot about your looks, don't you? Right, she honestly does. So she thinks yesterday Mido was tense, and Mido basically feels confused because his feelings are now starting to change towards Nour, because he's realised that her priorities are her lifestyle. Nour tries to say to Mido that he's overthinking things, but he's not. He's not, to be fair. He really isn't. Nour is not giving what she said she would do in those pods. She's not giving what she signed up for at all. Let's just put it that way. They kind of seem to work it out over a cucumber, of all things. Basically, Mido is saying that they need to get to know they need to get to know each other in the coming days, and I'm like, we shall see on that, because we shall see, because I don't think it's going to work between them in the slightest, to be honest with you. So you see Simo and Hajar, the arrogancies, as I've dubbed them. Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like them at all. So Hajar asked Simo what is forbidden. He said nothing. As soon as Hajar said, well, can your wife have a night out? He said no. I says, well, that's forbidden then, you numbnuts, at the end of the day. So Simo explained in his way that it's not forbidden, it's just not normal. And I thought, say what now, mate? Why is it not normal? But I understand with the culture that he's from that it may not be so normal. And plus the fact that, you know, the women his family probably don't do that. It's probably all about their husbands and the male figures within their family at the end of the day. So I told you in the last episode, Simo will want a wife like he has watched in his own household, ruled by the men in the home with not much life of their own. So Simo says, why should my wife go out alone? Because she doesn't want to be stuck by her husband's side 24/7 at the end of the day. And as Hajar said, to go out with her girls, to go out with other women at the end of the day. Hajar says she feels Simo has trust issues. I said, no, he has controlling issues. He doesn't have trust issues per se. He has controlling issues. Okay. So he called it respect and values of the family. And he told her, if you want to go out, if you want to live your life like that, then yeah, you can do that with somebody else. Simo basically said that he has principles, but he will not forsake them. And I thought, well, that's why you'll be on your own forever and a day, my friend, unless you can find a woman that is very, very, very compliant. That's all I'm going to say. So we get to Dunya and Shafiq. I think all the girls will want to see who Shafiq is, basically, because, you know, we all know they had a thing for the little French dude, in terms of how he spoke. He's broken Arabic, but with a French accent. So Shafiq wants to see Dunya with other people, but for him, as Dunya raised, she knew one of the girls was flirting with him, which was Nour, and he said he knows how to act. I know how to put them in their place where they have to be. And I thought, well, Dunya can do that too. At the end of the day, it's too much of a double standard for me, to be honest with you. And some of the actual misogyny that's coming from some of these men for real. So Dunya is worried about Nour, and especially as Shafiq has not seen Nour's physique. Dunya is basically ready for any trouble that Nour is thinking she's going to make with Shafiq. At the end of the day, she's ready for it. And I thought, okay, we'll see what happens next. So the couples get to meet. So Nour, of course, says she's not curious to see anyone, but wants them to see what they missed out on. I was just like, wow, like that mattered. But she is definitely curious. She is definitely curious, and the one person Nour will be curious about will be Shafiq, so she's lying to herself. But all I'm gonna say is there's another arrogant one on aisle 3, please. Nour is showing her whole true self up in here, like fully showing herself up in here. So the guys are all on it, they're chatting and bigging each other up when each one of them come in. The women are actually quite quiet and wait for the men to introduce them to the other couples before they then go off and speak to the girls on their own. So Simo ends up kissing each girl on the cheek. Hajar stands back like a spare part. Although she says hello to Amar, she doesn't go very much closer than that. Like, she's literally yards apart from the men, basically. So Hajar is eagle-eyeing Shafiq. And I thought Dunya may have been worried about the wrong one. But Yeah, Hajar definitely has a spiteful streak, and it shows in this meeting. So Hajar said in her VC that looking at Shafiq, he's not her type at all. And I'm just like, your lips can say what it wants to say, Hajar, but your whole face when you were dead staring at Shafiq behind your sunglasses was saying something completely else, something else completely. Let's just put it that way. So Mido walks in with Nour, and the guys go, oh no. All the guys except for Ammar went silent. And I thought, what's up with that, fellas? Shafiq looks to the floor instantly. So Nour kind of got what she wished for. So Nour doesn't say hello to Shafiq at all when she walked in, and that was rude, and he did take offense by it. So Hajar said Nour is out of Shafiq's league, basically, or out of Mido's league. I can't remember which person she was talking about. So Shafiq takes Dunya to one side and tells Dunya that he and Nour actually messaged on Instagram some years ago. He basically believes that's why Nour did not say hello to him, because she knew him. But at least Shafiq was honest with Dunya. That's all I can say. I think that what Nour did was rather rude to Shafiq, as if you knew him, it came to nothing to say hello and not be rude about it. Do you know what I mean? So Dunya did ask Shafiq if he believed Nour recognised him, and he said he doesn't know because it was so long ago. So Hajar and Nour are sitting with each other, and they're being bitchy in the background, like full on bitchy in the background, because Karma won't leave Amar's side. And I mean, that's for Karma's choice. If that's what she wants to do, that's what she wants to do. And basically, Amar was the one that said that he wants his woman to be all over him. Like, he doesn't mind her not giving him no space, and that's what she's doing. She's feeding into one of his baser likes that he's vocalized. So Nour was definitely showing her nasty side, and no matter how good looking she looked, her soul was ugly to me. She's distasteful, just like Hajar. That's all I can say. So now Hajar in her VC then hints, after that bitch vest, yeah, hints in her VC on what others have and what she wants. She wants pointers. I thought, huh? So Shafiq tells Mido that Nour was disrespectful, and she's too much, because he doesn't like the fact that Nour leaves Mido's side too much. He thinks that Nour and Mido do not match at all, and I'd have to say I agree with Shafiq's view of that. I really do agree with that. So now Hajar tells Nour basically she has a stain on her dress. So she tells Nour to turn around and brushes the little dust off. So as them two are making a fuss over her dress, why does Simo decide that he's going to tell Nour to turn around? Like full 360 turn around as Hajar is stood there. And you could tell that Nour was completely uncomfortable, because he was saying, no, turn around, turn around. Like, that's how he was saying it to her. I thought, my guy, bad move on your part. Real bad move on your part. So Hajar pulls him in a way that we know Simo won't like, because she does swear after him. So she says, why the fuck would you tell Nour to turn around to see if her dress is dirty or not? Because I'd already dealt with it. That was hella disrespectful in terms of what you just did. So Simo says he will not apologize for that, and then says to Hajar, are you stupid? And Hajar says to him, no. He says, Nour's dirty dress is none of your business. So I thought, here we go, trouble in paradise. So Hajar played a mean game of meek and mild in the punts, and she's neither of those, as Simo is coming to find out. I love this for them. I really do love this for them. So she said to Simo, don't do it again. I don't like that. He said to her, don't tell me what to do. And Hajar described herself to a T in her VC. She says, I stomp on the guys don't stomp on me. And I'm just like, yeah, Simo found his match in you, for real, didn't he? Like, really did. And Hajar is definitely, as I already said, found her match in Simo. Neither one of them will budge. And I thought, Simo ain't for stomping my gal. And if that's what you think, then you got the wrong man for that. Like, seriously. So now Nour goes over to Shafiq. And Shafiq calls Nour out on her disrespect. All I'm gonna say is Nour does my head in. She's a little flirty with Shafiq, and you can see Dunya looking over and making sure things are okay. She then says to Shafiq, "Oh, you look familiar to me." But each time Shafiq starts talking, she's laughing loud. Like, and I'm like, why are you laughing like that? Why are you drawing attention to yourself when there's no need to draw attention to yourself? Because this man ain't flirting with you in the slightest. So even Shafiq had to ask her if she was all right. She was saying, yeah, and he's like, because you just keep laughing uncontrollably so much, I don't understand what's going on. You can see that Mido is getting pressed too by what's happening, because he says he sees a different side to Nour as she talks to Shafiq. I said, because my guy, this girl don't respect you, she don't want you. All she wanted to do was be on the show. She just hoped to have got a better looking man than what she got, to be honest with you, to deal with her standard of life. That's all it was. So Hajar tells the girls about what Simo did. Hajar wants Simo to tone his ego down a notch, otherwise it isn't going to work with them. And I'm just like, it ain't going to work with these two anyhow. Like, then you have Shafiq talking to Simo about Nour and the fact that she was being too flirty with him. And he also then tells Simo that, you know, him and Nour kind of knew each other back way before this on the outside Instagram, da 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 da. So why then does Simo take it upon himself to pull Dunya to talk to, and Shafiq is watching them with a hawk eye as well? Dunya's not encouraging anything at all, so Shafiq can settle him backside down at that point. But now I understand why Simo went to Dunya to cause issues with her, because he starts to talk to Simo about Simo starts to talk to Dunya about other people probably knowing each other outside of this experiment and how that makes him feel and da 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 da. And I thought, well, why would you do that? You could see Dunya was very uncomfortable with that talk, because I don't think Simo already realised that Shafiq had already spoken to her first and foremost about any type of situation with Nour. But it's also the fact that Mido would not be aware that Shafiq and Nour possibly knew each other outside of this experiment through Instagram messages. So that was an arsehole move on Simo, on Simo's part, basically in doing what he's doing. So Shafiq got pissed after Dunya had told him what had happened, because he said he made a mistake in telling Simo anything. So Shafiq went off. Like, Shafiq went off on Simo completely, and Simo was trying to act like the bad man in front of everyone. I don't know why Simo felt the need to do any of that, like come in and piss on people's parade and then act like a fucking peacock at the end of it. So now Simo is gaslighting Shafiq to make it seem like he was not talking about Shafiq but the experience. But I'm like, it's a bit coincidental, my guy, that Shafiq had just told Simo, yeah, about Nour and the Instagram situation and how like rude she is in terms of the flirty business, and then watches you then go pull Dunya for a freaking chat to chat about other people knowing each other and how it made you feel. Full of shit. What are you supposed to infer from that? So Simo really just wanted to cause an issue, and as again, the only person that this would have affected would have been Mido. So they was gonna fight. Like, Shafiq was gonna fight Simo, and Simo was ready to fight. So Hajar was sitting with Nour, and Nour was kind of saying, "No, you're not going to go over and talk to like your mat to Simo or anything like that." And Hajar says, "I ain't interfering with them, and it ain't her business." So now Simo was basically talking about how he wants to teach Shafiq a lesson, and just kept on insulting him by calling him a little boy, because Shafiq is a lot younger than Simo. But saying that, Simo is older but still acting like a prize ass, acting so immature. Like, seriously, acting so immature. You see Dunya going over and getting involved and trying to calm Shafiq and take him to one side, but Hajar was like, "Yeah, I'm having none of it at all. You can leave me out of your bullshit." And that is where the episode ended, but I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. As I always say, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share, and do all the good things that you do, because I am on the road to 1K, and I'll speak to you all again soon, my people.